Howdy, it's Jim Arado, and we are in Concord, New Hampshire. This is September 2021, and we swung through here on our recent trip through Vermont and New Hampshire. Just kind of a very pleasant, nice little town, especially for a capital. Just kind of calm and nice. However, there were some, I think spikes in COVID or something was going on, and they had announced, actually several people told us they would not be doing tours here at the time we were going to be here, which was a real disappointment. But we thought, well, maybe we can swing by and stick our head in, and maybe they'll still do a self-guided tour or something like that. By the way, let me point out, that is a cast of the Liberty Bell. I think 53 of those were made. So that's pretty much a nice copy there, which I thought was pretty cool. I just wanted to point that out real quick. Actually, several cool statues and monuments here in front of the Capitol. But I wanted to mention really, really quick that we still went into the Capitol building, and we went into their little gift shop area, and a very nice lady was telling us about some stuff. And as we talked to her, another couple came in, and she just basically said, hey, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and give you a tour. So, I think they've got just some pleasant volunteers there, nice people. And even though they technically weren't doing tours, they still gave us a nice little tour. So I'm probably not gonna say too much and let her do the talking. I forget her name, but she was wonderful and pointed out some great stuff to us. Lots of Civil War history too here, by the way. We'll mention that later.
In the original part of the building, which went to about the end of this door. That's how small it was originally.
Oh, tiny.
Yeah. So in the back there, we have dioramas of the early history, the colonial or the revolutionary history of New Hampshire. We had the very first state constitution.
Oh.
Even before the U.S. Constitution.
Oh, that's
Okay.
impressive.
Yeah, we have a lot of firsts here. Amongst them is the first in the nation presidential primary. And it was, so what happens is that the potential candidates come, they have their $1,000, they go to the Secretary of State's office, which is upstairs, and then they come down here and leave some of their campaign materials, sign our book, take pictures, because they're running for office, so, every opportunity for a picture.
Yes.
Is welcome. So they do that, and so that's why we have that board there. Hi, come on in. If you want to join us, you're welcome to.
Oh, you're going to do a tour?
I will. I'll do the whole thing.
Well, thank you.
Oh, yes.
Yay.
Karen, I'll see you.
Alrighty. See you later in the week.
So, well, let me just kind of recap.
Sure.
This room here was the Adjutant General's office in the original part of the State House, which was just about to this door here. So it was pretty small, the whole length of the building. So that's why we've got walls. And I was telling them, this is our tribute to the first in the nation primary.
Okay, yeah.
Candidates come and go upstairs, pay their $1,000, get their name on the ballot, and then they come down here, they're running for office, they take pictures with us, they give us their campaign material, and sign.
That's cool. That's cool. Wow.
So they have to come personally and do that?
They almost always do. They
It would be
can
foolish
send,
not to, I guess.
Right. They can send a representative, and traditionally, if the incumbent is going to run again, he does not come. He or she does not come. So this past election, first, when Obama was running for his second term, Biden came. And signed him up. And then when Trump was running for the second term, then Mike Pence came.
Oh, okay.
But the first time around, they usually do come because
It's a big deal.
photo ops.
Yeah.
It really is about photo ops.
Okay, if I had $1,000 and I wanted to, could anybody just come and pay the $1,000 and? Oh, wow.
You have to be 35 and you have to be a natural born citizen. You have to follow all the constitutional regs of of the federal regulations.
Just interesting that anybody can. Yeah. Ah, wow. God bless America.
$200 and you've lived in New Hampshire for 3 years, you can become a rep too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wow, okay. And you're 18.
Okay.
You
Okay.
have to be a little older to be a senator.
Take some notes here. Yes.
So, because this was the Adjutant General's office, when young men came to enlist for the Civil War, this is where they came. And they were given flags. Initially, the governor would give them flags, and then later on, patriotic groups would give out flags. And that's what gave us all of these beautiful flags out of
Oh, the ones that were when we came in?
Yes.
Yeah, those are amazing.
So this hall here is part of the original building. It's called the Hall of Flags or Memorial Hall. And the flags on either side here are all, we have 88 original Civil War flags. These were actual flags that were in battle. They were, the cabinets were built in the late 1800s and the flags put there. So when the men came back from the war, they brought their flags and they brought them here. And so there wasn't much room in there, so they were, laid out here in the hall and so on. And then some smart legislator decided we should honor them and place them there. So we have several that I usually tell people about. The 5th Regiment. The regiments are on the top. The battles that they fought in are at the bottom. The 5th Regiment lost the most troops of any other regiment. And then on the 4th Regiment, you see that there is a wreath around the top of the standard. What happened is that it was around Christmas time and they celebrated Christmas and they put a wreath on the flag, and then they went off to a battle and they went into a mine explosion. They all lived and the flag survived, so they thought the wreath was their good luck charm, so they kept it. And so that's how it ended up here. We go across the way. You'll notice the 13th Regiment is, that flag is hung there differently than the others, and that's because it's too big for the standard. And the reason it's too big for the standard is that it actually flew over the capital of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia. And when they left the Union, they took the flag down and they threw it away. And a young man named Forrester rescued the flag, hid it, and then when the 13th, New Hampshire 13th came in to occupy Richmond, he gave it to them.
I got goosebumps. Yeah.
It is. And then some years ago, apparently, Virginia found out that we had it and they really wanted it back. But it's not coming out of this cabinet because, for one thing, it would not be good for the rest of the flags because they're whatever. So the condition that they're in is the condition from the battlefield.
It's amazing.
It's quite amazing. So, and the flags in the back are some other regiments from the Civil War that did not actually see battle. Spanish-American War. The center is for World War I. All of those names on the back on the Roll of Honor are New Hampshire citizens who perished during World War I. And down below are the Medal of Honor recipients, and you'll see the largest group there are from the Civil War era. Over here we have World War II. And then around the corner we have Vietnam, Korea, and MIA honoring those people. So just a little bit about the State House itself. It was built in 1819, as I said, about up to where that wall is. It had no dome. And the portico was not there. That was all during the Civil War. Really? Yeah.
Surprising.
So the granite is from the actually, prisoners brought it down from a quarry here in Concord. brought it down. They worked on it up there, and then they brought it down here to the craftsman who built the building. If you go outside, you can see where the third floor was added because the granite color was just a little bit different in terms of color. So the third floor was added later on. Again, New Hampshire granite, because we are the granite.
Makes perfect sense.
So what are these flags generally made out of? Cotton? I mean, wool?
Whatever they were making flags out of at that time.
I mean, amazingly.
Some look a little shiny.
Yeah, well, and yeah, I think they are.
They wouldn't be
I mean, as
synthetic.
old as they are, it's amazing how.
I know that the printing on it was part of the tradition then because they were used as communication. The flag bearer was in the middle of the regiment, they had Indians and they told the men where they were. And so that was how they did that. So if we move on here, this hallway has some Civil War heroes. We have over 200 portraits or paintings here in the State House. Only 9 women. Which, you know, considering that it's a historical thing. So Harriet Dane was a nurse during the Civil War. She came back. The state gave her $500 and she opened up a summer cottage for veterans up on Lake Winnipesaukee, which is our largest lake. There was a school named for her here in Concord. But like most Civil War nurses during the Civil War period, they treated whoever needed to be treated. It didn't matter if you were Union or Confederate. Everybody got treated equally. You probably learned some lessons from that. And so this was Colonel Cross. He lost his life at Gettysburg. We're moving into the addition in 1864. And then into 1910. And in 1910, they added these beautiful elevators. And also indoor plumbing was one of the other big things. They also shored up the representatives' hall to hold the dome. They found out that the dome was too heavy for supports underneath Representatives' Hall, which is right over where we were just standing in the Hall of Flags, is where Representatives' Hall is. So when we come around here, we have this. This is our largest painting. It's a Pickett's Charge at Gettysburg, the third day. And it is in the style of the French artist who created or painted the paintings that traveled around the country as murals after the war. This is not by that artist. We don't know who it is because it's unsigned. It was found, it had some travels, it was presented and then traveled around. Ultimately, it was rolled up and placed in somebody's personal home, barn, camp, and was discovered when they went to use it, or they were looking for a piece of canvas to use as a drop cloth. And they found it, eventually it ended up here just in the 1990s.
It's amazing how many things they find in barns and attics and just rolled up and
Yep.
hoping that they survive.
There's a story for the American Independence Museum, which is over in Exeter, New Hampshire. They found the document from the original Declaration of Independence that was sent around to all the states and was read on July 12th, 1776. And they found that stored up in the house. So we can go upstairs, we can take the elevator, or we can walk, whatever you prefer.
You want to try the elevator just to
The
try it?
elevator is really modern inside.
Oh, it's not
Nothing special on the inside. The outside is special.
You don't get just pull the gates or anything.
Yeah, and you're welcome to go up and down on the stairs. My goal here is from
steps are?
Yep. You can see they were well worn in a lot of places. The House of Representatives, it has scaffolding in it. They are doing some painting and some ventilation work and so on. Usually it looks like this.
Oh.
Oh, wow, that's.
We have 400 representatives.
Pictures.
We have 1.3 million people, give or take. So that's about 34 to 3,500 citizens per rep. So most of us know our reps. Our government is set up so that we have 400 reps, we have 24 senators, and we'll go into the Senate chamber. We also have an executive council, and hopefully we can get into that room as well, and a governor. And they're all elected every 2 years. No term limits, so we have representatives who have served for over 40 years.
Oh, wow.
So if you want to peek in, I don't know what it looks like there. It's supposed to be starting to take the scaffolding down, but it doesn't look like it to me, but you're certainly welcome to look in.
Oh, wow.
It's big.
Yeah.
They sit stadium style. They do not have desks. They
I didn't notice that.
They have a little box in front to record their vote, and they have a little, like a little file thing that they can stick their papers in.
So he's the first governor? Was he the first?
No,
Oh, 1874.
yeah, no, but the Wentworths,
Wentworth.
yeah.
Governor of New Hampshire in 1741. 1760.
He actually might have, you know what, I don't know.
Because there were a
couple of Wentworths, so I
Oh,
never know which one
okay.
was. So
That
he would
makes
have been colonial.
Right.
He would have been a colonial governor
Yeah.
appointed by the king.
That scaffolding in there is a piece of artwork itself.
Yes.
Isn't it? I mean, it's huge. Well, and what they have to do to get it out is,
How does it work?
over on that side is where the portico is. So what they have to do is put scaffolding outside the front entrance and then take it out the windows onto the top
Oh
of the
my
portico.
gosh.
Piece by piece.
Yeah, it was quite a task for them to get it on. Are you joining us?
No.
No, you're trying to get,
Oh, I'm sorry.
trying to get
We're gonna let you
something.
ride.
We're so sorry.
Yes. So this hall, these halls are governors from New Hampshire history. I don't know a lot about them. I know this guy because he's from the town that I live in.
Oh.
And his family, I know, made bricks. And his home still exists today in the town, and there's a pond where they used to quarry some of the sand and so on to make the bricks. So that's Knackhead.
Oh, that's it. Isn't there a Prescott Park?
There is
Somewhere
one
in
in Portsmouth.
Yeah.
Yep. There's a lot of names that seem to recur also. You know, Smith, there's the school in Manchester that's Smith and Road, Smith Road School, and it's spelled that way, so that's him. So this is the Secretary of State's office. They have a display of photographs of all of the candidates over the years as they've come through.
Oh.
And you are welcome to go in and take a look at that. When it's primary time, and they come up here, and you get the view, when you get to watch it on the news forever and ever, so it seems. This is the, this is where you would be.
Yeah, it's okay to.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, wow. Howdy.
Hi.
Hello.
Alright. Pretty cool.
They are.
Document all of that.
Yeah, they do.
Courier, is that actually the museum after?
Courier
We're just picking up names there.
Yeah. Are you from New Hampshire?
We're living here now, we're actually from Arizona, but we moved up here
Oh,
6 years ago.
my sister did the reverse.
Most people do the reverse.
We hear that a lot.
But we haven't gone into Concord at all yet.
Yeah, so this is Dudley Webster Dudley. Her name is Dudley Webster, and she married Tom Dudley, so she became Dudley Dudley. She was our first female executive counselor, and she was instrumental in advocating not to put one of the Onassis family refineries on our coast. So our coast is only about 17 miles long. So if any disaster ever happened because it was a refinery there, we would.
Not a lot.
Yeah, right. And our primary industry is tourism. So that would that. So again, more governors.
Member Smith? Oh, this is a different spell.
Different Smith. And then this is Benjamin Pierce. This is the father of our local president, Franklin Pierce, from Hillsborough. And so he was a governor a couple of times.
In Raymond, there's a street bachelor. Good friends of the street.
Yeah, I'm busy moving, Dad.
Oh,
Wasn't a fun vacation.
I bet not.
Some more modern.
The executive council.
Oh, wow.
The executive council is a throwback to colonial times when the king wasn't always so certain about his government. So he had a council that would also advise them. So in New Hampshire, the executive council is not just ceremonial. They actually do vote on things. They're part of the executive branch. So they vote on any state contract above $25,000. They vote on pardons from the prison. And they also approve any of the, or vote on any of the governor's appointments to things like highway commission, state positions. So they do have some power. If you were here not too long ago, when the partisan thing, majority party was Democrats and the governor is a Republican, he nominated someone for Attorney General. And what happened was that the executive council didn't approve it, and so it ended up going on longer than that. No, they're welcome. I'll do a circle necessary.
This can be yours.
Oh, thank you, because you tried to call me and I didn't have it. I thought of it.
Yeah, I just stupidly was down there. I said, I'll take it up to her, because they said you didn't have a pager.
Yeah.
And then I turned around, get out of the hall of flags and start paging you, so
I am a naughty girl.
I'm ready to go home.
Okay, Veronica, thank you. So I was just explaining that this is the executive council room. And the executive council in New Hampshire is a group of 5 elected officials. They have power to vote on the governor's appointments to statewide jobs, contracts with the state over $25,000, and also pardons. This room dates from 1910. The governors that you see here are colonial governors. And then look out that window. That building over there is our legislative office building, even though it says post office on it. It's the
So who's the current governor right now?
Christopher Sununu.
Okay.
He is in his 3rd term.
Is there an actual post office over there, or does
No,
it? Okay.
no, it's offices.
So, something else I'm fascinated with is post offices.
Yeah,
That's
no,
it.
there's not even a post office at the building. No, and the post office is down.
This window's free.
As well, the chairs were just recently redone. That's why they look so good.
Look how beautiful.
All right, so we can move out here and I'll tell you a little bit about these portraits. These are the portraits of our more recent governors, our 20th and 21st century governors. The way it works is that after a governor leaves office, they can arrange to have a portrait done. So they choose their artist, and then they get,
But not until after they leave office.
right, after they leave office, and then you will notice even out in the hallway, they can choose their setting, but they can't have any other people in it. So, that being said, over here, portrait of John Sununu, Senior. John Sununu was our governor, and our current governor is Christopher Sununu. Christopher Sununu is the young man kneeling with the skis across his arm and a red jacket.
He snuck some people into his picture.
And so that's his family, his children, he has a lot of children. And so when Christopher Sununu leaves office and he gets his portrait here, he'll have his portrait here twice. So that's the story about that. If we go out here, you can tell from the way they're dressed and so on, and actually some of their demeanor, is that these are a little more current than some of the other folks on the other end. But I do think that Governor Sununu got his idea for his family because this is Sherman Adams, and that's his wife up there.
Smart.
Yeah, there's a way, there's always a way. We'll go down this hallway to Senate chamber. So in the governor's reception area, there was a portrait of Jean Shaheen, who was our current senator, and she was our first elected female governor. Our first female governor, however, was Vesta Roy, who was governor for about a month. Governor Gallen was in office. He did not run for office again. We had had an election in November, so we had a new governor coming in January. Governor Gallen passed away, was hospitalized and passed away. We do not have a lieutenant governor. Our succession is governor to president of the Senate, and Vesta Roy was president of the Senate at the time. So she became governor for about a month. So she was our first female governor. Here. We're back in 1819.
Yes.
And this is our Senate chamber. It was redone or renovated 2 years ago when we celebrated the bicentennial of the State House, and the fact that we are the longest continuously used State House in the country for actually enacting legislation. So this is the Senate chamber. When they redid it, they tried to come up with colors and so on that would match what would have been traditional. You look up there, you also see the scales of justice stencil, and that's because originally it was shared with the Supreme Court. And during the bicentennial celebration, the Supreme Court did come over here and have a session here in honor of what was going on. That desk over there is one that has been used many, many times for the candidates to use when they come to sign up. So they sign up on the antique desk. So that desk has had a lot of a lot of presidents and a lot of wannabes. More wannabes. Mostly wannabes. So the murals, though, date from 1942. And they were done by a New Hampshire artist, Barry Faulkner. And they depict the ideals of New Hampshire. First one is education, and that shows Governor John Wentworth, not Benning, on the other portrait, but John, in 1771 being greeted by the president of Dartmouth College for their first announcement. And, the second one is of Daniel Webster. Daniel Webster was born here in New Hampshire, just up the road. His parents had a general store, a mercantile store. And the story is that when he was about 9 or 10, he decided he should study the U.S. Constitution. And so this picture depicts him studying the Constitution and in his parents' store. The next one is the melding of arts and science. And the gentleman seated with the bird is Abbott Thayer, who was a scientist and an artist. And he proposed that animals' coloring was such that they could protect themselves. The theory of protective coloration was presented to Teddy Roosevelt, apparently, and as a potential way of protecting soldiers. They didn't necessarily think it was a good idea, so Abbott Thayer ended up going off to France. And in France, they did think it was a good idea. He did some artwork for them. So that's where we get the word camouflage rather than talking about theory of protective coloration when we talk about camouflage. The young man reaching out with the red tie and the brown suit is Barry Faulkner, so it was a self-portrait. And then the final picture is of John Stark. Come on in, sir.
What's going on?
We're doing a tour.
Oh, how's everybody? Good. I thought we were having a caucus in here, but I guess not.
Yeah, well, we'll be leaving in a second. I don't know where your
caucus is. Where are you all
caucus
from? Michigan. All of you from Michigan?
Kentucky.
We're from New Hampshire.
Oh, great. Well, welcome to the Senate.
Oh, thank you.
So,
He's our singing senator.
I'm the singing senator.
What? Prove it.
Today I'm more confused. So I look over the line and the pouring rain. There you go.
Oh, nice, thank you.
The acoustics maybe.
So this is John Stark. He was born in Manchester. He was a Revolutionary War hero. He brought New Hampshire troops to the Battle of Bunker Hill and then also to Bennington. And in Bennington, that was a turning point of the Revolutionary War. He also is the person who penned our state motto, live free or die, which you see all over the place in New Hampshire.
I understand that now.
Yep, live free or die, for death is not the worst of evils. So that's the whole quote that goes with that. So most of us just know live free or die, but there's more to it than that. And people often think that he said it, but he didn't. He wrote it. So that's the story of John Stark. So I don't want to.
Oh no, you go in. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about me.
For those of you who have been with me for the whole time, this is generally where I leave you. If you want to, you can take the stairway outside and go up to the gallery and have a bird's eye view. Ooh. The other thing you can do is go up to the third floor. The staircase is right by the elevator. And up at the third floor, you can get the closest view of the dome, which was regilded just a few years ago. 2,000 square feet of gold gilt.
Really?
Yeah.
When we first moved, there was scaffolding all around and you couldn't see it.
Yes, it was just amazing. Well, because they
Supposed to be.
also had to do a lot of structural work along the end. So there's a reverse.
Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you.
And there's a reverse.
Yeah, and that was pretty much our entire real-time tour of the State House here in New Hampshire. That was a lot of fun. And I need to look up that singing senator, man. He nailed it. That was really impressive. That was a lot of fun. Our tour guide was incredible too. Not a whole lot to say. I think she covered just about everything you might want to know. The thing that really impressed me, as someone interested in the Civil War, is that anonymous painting, of Pickett's charge. And if you are familiar with the Gettysburg Cyclorama, there's some images in there that were similar, and that that painting is not quite of the high quality of the cyclorama, but it was still super duper impressive and just really neat. If you know anything else about that, let me know. I'd sure love to know more myself. I know in the gift shop they didn't have any postcards or any prints or anything of it, but I'd love to find out more about that. And of course, they have all those incredible flags from the Civil War in their Hall of Flags. And in the gift shop, they have a book I picked up. I think I paid maybe $4 or $5 for it, and it gives a little information, a little more information about those flags, about each flag, and there's the dome. And it tells a little bit more about the preservation efforts with those flags, because it's very difficult to preserve them. Yeah. Anyway, this was a great tour. This is a great town and a great state. Going to Vermont and New Hampshire, there's tranquility to it. You still have a couple of bigger cities, but they're nowhere near on the scale of, a Boston or a Louisville or anything like that. It's even when you're in the bigger cities like Concord, it's still not really that big of a city. And it's very manageable. It's very calm. It's got a nice vibe, and I really admired that. Nice restaurants there across from the state capitol. There was a nice little coffee shop we went to. There's the chain restaurant, The Works, that we discovered kind of peppered through Vermont and New Hampshire that we like a whole lot. But just a nice tour, nice place. They had a nice gift shop. We went down and talked to some staff down there again after our tour, a little bit more. And by the way, we're at the beginning of the video where we're looking at pictures of the candidates coming in. That's basically kind of their first stop on the tour / gift shop. So there's a little gift shop there, and they had some, of course, books, postcards, things of that nature. And but yeah, we had a great time. Oh yeah, and I thought it was kind of unbelievable. Pretty much all of the candidates stopped by there when they're beginning their presidential runs, and that's just pretty cool. And it was cool hearing her talk about, you pay your $1,000 and there you go. So yeah, that was just really interesting. Had a great time. Hope you enjoyed that. Some nice statuary out front. Just a very, very scenic state house. And it was really generous of them to go ahead and give us that tour, even on a day and time when they really weren't doing tours. So we were really thrilled about that. We came here not expecting much, and we ended up just really seeing quite a bit. So anyway, yeah, I hope you like that. Thanks.